And this one is the one that I think I told Neiman he could have a little bit of say in.
Hi, Nana. What do you think? Initial thoughts?
Our friends at FedEx sent us a package. Oh. Hey everybody, welcome back to the store. And if you have no idea what in the world I am talking about, be sure and go watch episode 1 of this series first, because we dropped some really juicy information that you are not gonna wanna miss. In this video, we are going to be talking about all things mood boards, swatching out paint, testing floor samples, measuring for wallpaper, and so much more. And maybe, just maybe, you'll get to see some family and their first reaction of our new space. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Neiman. We just got our dream storefront located in Omaha, Nebraska, and we've got 10 weeks before our grand opening.
And we are going to be transforming this space into a beautiful place where so much magic will happen.
From painting and selling furniture
to hosting workshops and furniture contests, this place will have it all. And best of all, we're bringing you along on yet another journey with FFT.
Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
In the first video of this series, we kind of went room by room, and I kind of gave you a little bit of an overview, but I want to do just a little bit more of an in-depth tour and exactly what is going on in my brain, and just really figure out what we want in each and every room and each and every space of this new store. So I am going to start by going around the perimeter of the building, and then we'll get to the main room, the juicy stuff, which I am the most excited about. But we can't forget about these small spaces either. So up here, we are going to be having our podcast studio. So that means that we just basically need to make things a little bit more presentable than they stand right now. We've got a whole bunch of wall patches that we need to cover, so we're gonna do that by using paint. I am planning on painting this wall a black color, and today we are gonna be going and grabbing some samples of all of these. So we need some black paint, and then I think I am going to just be keeping the rest of the walls just a neutral white color, most likely the color that we choose out for the big room as well. As far as the trim goes of the windows and the doors, that is all for now gonna be staying white, except I am a little bit inspired by this black trim on the bottoms, and I might decide to paint everything black instead of white. Comment down below if you think that that would be a good idea. I do need a little bit of help with the huge space that we have to design. So black wall, neutral walls, black or white trim. And then as for the flooring, this will most likely be LVP, and we will be getting some samples later in this video. All right, let's move on to room number 2. I think I'm gonna give every room a number. It just seems a lot easier. So this room is still a big question mark with what we exactly wanna have in here. So I think we're gonna go pretty basic in here, same LVP in the other room, and then we're gonna just do the walls the same color as we choose for the large room. And for that, I'm sort of thinking of like a warm white color. All right, we're gonna go ahead and skip the bathrooms for now, because I'm just kind of on this train of thought for just the rooms, because I already sort of have really great ideas for the bathrooms. So in here, I don't know, I think I kind of wanna go fun and maybe have an accent wall of some type of color. Maybe like a blue or an orange, some type of fun color to just give this room a pop. This room, again, is going to be more of like a break room, lounge room type feel, potentially a couch and a fridge and a chair or a table. Not exactly sure on the furniture, but definitely want to have some sort of pop over here. And then some fun artwork would be awesome as well. Okay, we're moving on to room number 3. And this one is the one that I think I told Neiman he could have a little bit of say in. So we're gonna get his input too. All right.
What do we got?
Your office slash just like our office, I think we kind of decided.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I think since it's our store, our shop, maybe I need to release a little bit of control.
It's about time.
Let you help with some design, I guess.
I am the design guru behind all of this.
Yes.
all of the Airbnb,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Little secret we've been keeping. Anyway, so I think having this wall be like the accent, like we have in that room,
Yeah.
and then
That makes
color-wise,
sense.
I
What,
like
I mean,
the
your favorite
green.
color?
Huh?
Like your favorite color?
Well, that's blue.
Your favorite color's blue? Oh.
It's baby blue.
True.
So I don't know if I want to do that unless it's brand color, but
Yeah.
I like kind of bright in here, but green would be fine. Like the green that's downstairs in my office that you did the the bookcases in.
Oh, okay. So like a all olive green, forest green.
Yeah.
Okay. We could
No,
definitely get
actually,
a
I'm thinking
couple
like neon.
neon green.
Neon green.
Neon green.
Why not?
Whoa,
It
we're,
comes back
we're
around.
all bold. Do you not think that would like reflect everywhere and like be bad for recording?
I think that'd be perfect for recording.
Let's get serious.
Okay, let's go green.
Okay.
Here.
So we can get like a couple samples of like maybe 2 or 3 different greens.
Yeah.
Try them out on here.
Yeah.
See what we like.
Yeah. And I think for like you were talking about art in there, I think it'd be dope to put our own photos.
Yeah.
Like photos from our travels, like national park trips, just make this more personable too.
Yeah.
So if we have people in here and they're like just looking, you know, they'll get to learn a little bit about us.
Yep.
So I think more pictures of our travels and I was gonna say like some furniture flips that we can put on the wall, but I think that might be a little corny. But we can have a TV in here somewhere, like a little monitor, I think, for content review. Unless we do that in this podcast studio.
What do you mean, content review?
Like sit down at the table and like watch review videos while we're here. You know what I mean? Before videos go out. I don't know.
Well, there is that front room that we don't know what's going on in there.
Yeah. Because I think keeping it minimal would be sick in here.
Yeah. So just like, I feel like an accent wall, couple of photos, a desk,
A desk, stand-up
nice
desk,
floors.
nice floors, and maybe a chair too, like just some comfier chairs.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I feel like this room looks a little bit bigger than it actually is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that we're gonna be fitting a whole desk and a couple of chairs in here.
well, I think we could do a desk here, like right against this wall.
Yeah.
To open so I can see out like that. Chair would go behind, and then, you know, maybe like chairs here,
Yeah.
and then that's it, really.
Yeah.
This would just stay open to the walkway, just push the desk up to that side.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all we really need.
All right.
But electrical is right here.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to run some electric because that's the only outlet in this room.
Well, so then maybe we would put the desk, it'd be a little tight. Would that be
Yeah.
awkward as far as like how, like you walk in and then desk?
Depends. I
Desk
feel like
here.
you might want to be over here so you can kind of like see out a little bit.
Okay.
But at the same time, I feel like I just don't know how much real time we're going to spend in here.
Not much. I mean, especially during hours, like
Yeah.
during shop hours.
We have our laptops, all
Yeah.
that, so
Or we could do desk against this,
yeah.
so that way then cord management wise, it's not like exposed to the middle of
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some different like configurations, see what we like the best. But I think for now, main point, wall, green, and then white walls
Sure.
with whatever door I decide color-wise. And then LVP on the floors. Cool. All right, let's move on to the storage room. So here in the storage room, we really don't need to do a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep the floor as is because there's really just no point. Potentially, if we have some extra leftover floors, we'll put it in, but I'm not for sure. Then we'll be doing shelving around, and so I think I just wanna do a basic coat of the main color of the whole area, and that will be pretty much it in here, aside from building out some shelving to just store some of the things like extra inventory and whatever we need to store in here, honestly. Let's go to the utility room. Whew, we had to travel really far to get here. All right, this is the utility room. So it is completely new drywall. I'm pretty sure our landlord just did it because, I don't know, it's a long story, but I don't know. Do we need to paint in here? I feel like we should because we're gonna have water and just the things, maybe potentially a washer and dryer. And if this were ever like open when customers are out there, we'd probably want it to look like semi-nice, as nice as it could. We're gonna leave the floors as they are for sure in here, but maybe a nice coat of primer and paint would just do this a solid and just kind of bring everything together, make it look a little bit nicer. So we'll stick with our classic white color in here as well.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking having for you like paintbrush, like hangers, or putting like little hooks on the wall and stuff so that you could hang stuff to dry.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. All right, there's no need to go into that shower room. We're honestly not even gonna touch it. There's absolutely no point because only 2 people are gonna go in there, our Neiman and I, and that door will stay shut. But the next area I wanna check out is the workshop. Don't judge us, don't look, don't look. We already have furniture in here because our other storage units are full. So yes, we have a furniture buying problem. But it's a good problem to have because we're gonna have plenty of inventory, so that's good. All right, let's really talk about the plans in here. As far as colors go, I think we're just gonna do a base coat of white paint. I really wish that everything was good to go as is, but it's just not. This used to be an Anytime Fitness, and this was like their aerobics room. And so what I think was that there were mirrors over there, so that's why it's all patched up and all the adhesive kind of came down. And then over here, I think like they maybe threw medicine balls up and caught them or something, and it just skidded on the wall. That's my thought, I don't know, but either way, we need to get it covered up. If I don't go ahead and do it the same color that I choose out there, then this is going to be maybe like more of a bright white. I think I'll kind of team up with Neiman on this one as far as a good color for this room, because this is where we're gonna be shooting a lot of our content. And I think we told you in the first video, we would really love to have a mural up here. So obviously this wall is going to be colorful, but we need to have a base coat to start with. Not sure how long it's gonna take to get that mural going, but we can't just have these ugly walls in the back of our videos. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. What do you think about the colors for this?
Well, I think it would have to do with how big we go with the mural and how many colors are in that mural.
Yeah.
Because if we can throw, it might just be enough to be this wall is colored.
Yeah.
And then everything else is white.
Right.
Because
but like, I guess I'm talking about like what type of white, like a more warmer white or a cooler white? Or...
I think a cooler white, because the warmer whites will give off like a hue for the videos. So if we can keep it as
so almost a little bit on the grayer side.
Probably. Yeah,
like the light gray.
That'd be even better.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of is a lighter gray right now.
Yeah, I do too.
Because the drywall patches is white.
Yeah,
and then I kind of like that color.
Weird. This color?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could just redo that color really.
And we can see if Marty has that color so we can perfectly match it too.
Yeah.
But
either way.
Because we're not going to paint that wall, are we?
Yeah.
But what if Joe is going to be doing his thing?
That's what I mean. I wanted it to have like a blank slate.
But that might be
because it's not going to be like all...
But that might be extra work that we shouldn't do. So I think we should consult him before we do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I could text him. I haven't texted him back.
All right, well.
And then I also have a question for these walls. Gray, right? You said?
Like the very light, almost white gray, yeah.
And you're not, or are you open to not painting them? Because we're gonna have like racks and stuff on there. You wanna paint them?
Yeah.
Because this stuff isn't gonna be in videos.
I know. It's just for me.
Okay. You heard that.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'm
No,
doing
no,
it.
no, no, I'm just saying.
I
just
don't
for
want to
you,
have.
It's not because it's going to be in the back of videos.
I don't want to have one wall unfinished. Like, no. I just, no.
And there's going to be stuff on those 2 walls as well?
Yep, and I'm going to paint those as well.
Okay.
Just like I'm going to paint the utility room. It's no different. I'm
Okay.
painting it all. We're painting it all, guys. We're going to do, like, why do it halfway? The end result will look better if it's painted all and then put shelves on it.
Okay.
So the floor is going to stay the same. I don't remember if we told you in the first video, but we are going to be attempting to do our like own DIY spray booth build, and that would go right over here. We would kind of use this wall as like a starting point and then maybe bring it out at like 8 or 10 feet over here, kind of build it with 2x4s. I have a picture in my mind, so hopefully we can kind of recreate that. And
You wouldn't need any paint or anything for that?
no, we wouldn't need any paint for that. That's a little bit farther on down the road. Honestly, like once we get all of our furniture moved in and stuff like that. So definitely get subscribed because so much content to come, and it's time to go out to the main showroom. And for my favorite room, the biggest project of all. This one is huge, but I think we're gonna keep it simple in here. And like I've been saying throughout this whole entire time, I'm thinking of a white. I haven't decided if I wanna go with a warm white or a cool white. In here, have more of the like, you know, deeper warm tones or the cooler like blue tones. I'm unsure. My gut tells me to go with the warm tones because some of the other accents and things like that are gonna be like on the warmer side. So I'm gonna have to like play with some colors, which is why we're about to go to Home Depot and get some paint samples to swatch things out. Also, you might notice that on some of the walls, it just stops. The paint color, this tannish color, doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling. And we are gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna make it way more pretty. What I'm thinking of doing up there on that line or like right above, whatever color I choose, I'm going to make almost like a scalloped edging instead of just like a straight, really uneven painted line like it is now. I know it's gonna be a lot of work, but I think it's gonna be that attention to detail that's going to make it a little bit less abrupt. And so scalloping is really in right now, or some waves, some curves. Haven't completely decided yet. That is kind of my thought. Also, because we're kind of gonna be doing like a different white, but it's still gonna be white down here and it's white up there, I was thinking about separating the scallops with like a color, whether it be a black or a gray or a more bright color, or not bright necessarily, but like a blue or a green up there.
Something that'll help contrast.
Something that'll help contrast the two colors so that you can just tell, like, this is where this one ends, this is where this one begins, and it's purposeful, intentional, and meant to be. As for the floors in this big room, I just cannot stand this honestly ugly poop colored brown. Come at me in the comments, but I do not like this. I need to change it. There's a couple of different options. We're in talks with some brands for some flooring. So hopefully that all works out. It is about 3,200 square feet of flooring, so it is a lot. But if we can get that, it'll be some LVP throughout. And then if not, that's okay. We're going to just kind of improvise, and I will paint it a different color than it currently is now. It's actually like epoxied on there, but I think if we just went ahead and painted over it, made sure everything was clean and painted over it. If we painted over it, I'm thinking like a dark gray or a light gray. I just can't deal with the brown. It's just not the vibe in here. So that is kind of to come, but we do have some flooring samples that'll be arriving later this week that we will show you guys when it arrives. Let's talk about this pretty purple pole right in the middle of the area. It's not gonna stay purple. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do, but I'm thinking of potentially doing some type of like pole wrap, or I don't know, we'll paint it black probably, or white, depending on what color the trim I decide for the doors and the trim. I think that would be a good complement. And then we'll paint the top white, and then maybe to like 8 feet, we'll do some type of wrap around it, whether it be pole wrap, whether it be just some type of different look. It's not staying like this. So let's go ahead and go into the bathrooms, because I'm really excited about these as well. Okay, we've got a lot to do in these bathrooms because they've seen better days. First of all, we have to get rid of this ugly, creamy, yellowy colored wall treatment that I just really don't like at all. We're gonna keep it because we don't want to rip it down and then have to deal with what's underneath, but I think I'm gonna paint it. So we're gonna need to make sure it's all clean, and then we'll go ahead and paint it. And then up here, I am thinking of doing some type of wallpaper. So I'm gonna need to measure the upper halves of each bathroom. They are different for some reason. One of them over there is like way up here, and then this one's like way down here. And so we'll measure those for some wallpaper, and then the flooring is gonna stay the same. I really wanna get a new sink and a new like sink situation, vanity, whatever we wanna call it, so that it looks more classy and a little bit more upscale, because although it is just the bathroom, the vibe of the store has to be carried throughout. And so I think that the bathroom, like, it says a lot about a place. Whenever I go into a bathroom in a store or a restaurant, like, feels like it's one of the top things, like the most important, one of the most important things at the top of people's minds is like, you know, did you see the bathroom? That could mean good or that could mean bad. I want ours to mean good and that it was well thought out. So in this one, I'm thinking of doing like a more moody look, and we're gonna have some moody wallpaper up here with some cool dark flowers. Not gonna give you much more than that, even though you see my mood board, so you kind of see what I'm going for. And then in the other bathroom, we are going to do a more light and bright, airier wallpaper, but they're gonna complement each other, just meaning like they're basically simply going to be different colors of a very similar wallpapers. We'll also be painting the bottoms here. That is something that I think I'm gonna have to wait on getting the paint and even swatching it out until the wallpaper comes, because I wanna kind of try to match potentially some of the colors in each wallpaper. So that'll be in another later video. And again, we'll be getting rid of this vanity. I will be adding some mirrors to each bathroom, and I really think it would be cool to thrift a mirror or 2 mirrors, and or use a mirror from a dresser that I picked up, something to reuse materials, because that's what this store is all about. All right, we are going to head to Home Depot. I think we've got quite the list of paints that we need to pick out to get us started. But while we're on the way to Home Depot, check out my Nana's reaction when she came and saw the showroom, the storefront, for the very first time.
Hi, Nana. What do you think? Initial thoughts?
It looks wonderful.
Big?
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
We could have a family dinner in here.
A few of them. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's insane how it just fell into our lap, you know?
Yeah.
We just went for a chair and then we end up with 4,200 square feet.
Yeah. Are you crying?
I am. I'm so happy for you guys. This is cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping and supporting us all these
For the
years.
past 3 years, we never thought that it would lead us here. Now the fun part, trying to choose out some colors. So, I'm gonna start over here. This is supposed to just take one coat, as long as you get the right paint. So, let's start with, like, doesn't look like they have a black for the podcast room. This is like brown espresso beans. I don't want brown. Limousine leather or just black. Can't really tell a difference. I think we're gonna be cool and do limousine leather instead of just black. I don't really think we need a sample of that. We'll just go full send. One down. So let's move on to the office. Ooh, vine leaf. That's pretty. Gotta look at it in like different lights. See how it gets darker. I do like that though. And then what about equilibrium? That's more blue. Neiman doesn't like the teal colors. So, vine leaf, potentially. Now for the break room, I was thinking like to go bold. This one's like torch red. Ooh, I was wanting to go a little bit more orangey, but that might be too brown. What about this? Ooh, that's fun. Balcony sunset. I feel like the torch red would just give off way too much red tone, unfortunately. But I'm not set on these. This is just in this specific area. But I do like that, so that's a potential. And they look good together. And then we'll need like a blue for like the break room. I'm gonna go kind of darker. What about this? It's like a navy, but not too dark. I think I like that. English Channel, or there's Compass Blue, which I feel like that's too dark. Dropped it. Okay, so I think I narrowed it down to 3. I grabbed the pure white up here to just see what it looks like against the real white. And then these 3, we've got frost, weathered white, and silent white. And I think those will be really good options. We've got 1 warmer toned and then 2 cooler toned. And I think that'll just give us some good options to start with and swatch them out. So I'm gonna get some samples, and I think we're gonna go eggshell. That's just what I like to do on walls. So I'm gonna get some mixes and go back to the store and do some samples. We got a couple extra colors because I do have the plan for like a rainbow, and so I wanted to make sure that the wall colors in the rooms would honestly like match parts of the rainbow. So for the green, orange, and blue, I got samples, but then I went ahead and got samples for the red and yellow as well. And then unfortunately, even though I had picked out 3 white samples, he could only make 2 of them because the frost, which is actually the one I wanted to go with, I think, without swatching it yet, that one is like so close to the ultra pure white that I think the jar is like too small or something, and the machine wouldn't let him make that one. So I just grabbed extra sample cards of that color, and we'll just kind of have to hold them up against the other 2. One was kind of a warmer, one was kind of a cooler, and then the frost was a cooler as well. So off to the storefront to go swatch out some samples. Okay, we're back here at the shop. I got all of the swatches here that I'm gonna swatch out. We're gonna start with the whites. And right now I really only have 2 that I'm gonna paint, and then I've got the color card for that 3rd one that wasn't able to be made. So I'm gonna do it a couple of areas around the whole the whole like storefront and the workshop, just because I want to see it in different lighting, what it looks like on different walls, and then we'll choose the one that we really like the best. I'm gonna start over here, right near the window kind of, so that we can just see what it looks like when it's kind of interacting with the light as it comes in. So as you guys know, there are so many different choices of paint at the hardware store, and especially when it comes to our favorite color, which is white. There's warm whites, there's cool whites, there's green whites, there's purple whites, there's brown whites, there's just so many whites. So I wanted to narrow it down, and I didn't want to swatch out like 8 different colors on the wall. So I narrowed it down to 3, but like I said, I've got 2 here in the cans that were able to be sampled. I've got a weathered white, so that is going to be the more warmer toned white, and then I've got a silent white, which is the more cool white that I picked out. And then we've got the frost that I'll just kind of hold up at each location. I made sure to grab a bunch of swatches. We're gonna first swatch out the weathered white, which is the warm one. I just got some cheap chip brushes from Home Depot as well. Oh, that was gnarly. We'll most likely have to do 2 coats of the white, just because this tannish color that's already on the wall is a little bit darker. I mean, it's obviously darker than a white, so, and we'll want full coverage for sure. That is the weathered white. And then next we'll do the silent white. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Okay, so this is the weathered, this is the silent. I can already tell it's a little bit more cool.
So we're gonna swatch these paints out for you all, and then I wanna have your guys' opinions on what we should do.
Yeah, you'll totally be able to tell a difference on camera. We'll see. All right, there is the silent white. I can tell a difference here on location for sure. Neem, can you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then this is the other white. It's just gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so hard to tell with this one. So I honestly, unfortunately, this is the one I was kind of leaning toward, but because I can't swatch it out unless I got like an entire gallon or like a pint, I just don't wanna do that and then not like it. I can definitely like, what do you call it? Like you can make it worth it, or you can like,
compromise, or
no.
You can,
like, I'm not gonna buy a gallon because it wouldn't be worth it if I didn't like it. Then I wouldn't, like, I can spend $7 on a sample, but I'm not gonna spend $60 on a gallon to see if I like it. There's a word.
yeah.
Anyway.
Justify?
Yes, I think it's just.
Thanks, Becky.
Oh, I thought that was Neiman. Thanks, Becky. Okay, so weathered white or silent white. So after 1 coat of each color here in this spot, I like silent white, and then Neiman has also told me that he likes the silent white. But let's go toward the back of the store and see if we like that back there as well. Weathered white. Okay, so we got weathered white, silent white. Let me step back. So I'm just thinking that I don't want it to be too bright in here. I want it to feel cozy, warm, and from back here on both sides, although I liked the cooler silent white over here when I was up close, when I take a step back and I imagine myself walking into the shop and I'm looking, I really like the warmer toned, the weathered white on both sides from a distance. And I just think that just having some cooler lights coming in, we actually went live on our YouTube channel and had a lot of you guys jump in and help us out with the decision and just, and this testing out the swatches. And someone said, hey, what about, like, don't you have harsh winters? And yes, we do have harsh winters, which means it's gonna be really bright out because of the white snow. That reflecting in here will just cool it down even more and brighten it up. So I think we're leaning toward that weathered white warmer tone. We're also gonna go back in the workshop and check it out when we swatch it back there. It's gonna be very interesting to see it on like an already white wall. So in here we've got our weathered white and our silent white. Now, this is mostly gonna be up to Neiman. I feel like he sees color a little bit better, and plus he's the one that needs it a certain way for the cameras. So what do you think?
So, I think that giving us a base color, of this type of white is going to allow for the photos to be more consistent. And this one is going to give off a lot more warmer tones. So when you already have darker pieces, it would be kind of harder to color correct from here, starting with this, reflecting all the light that will come in from our garage door, versus this. We'll get a much better foundational color out of camera, which then will be better for post-production editing and everything. So winner for sure.
Leaning more toward the silent white for the workshop, which is what we had said in episode, or at the beginning of this episode, I think.
Yeah.
When we were going through the rooms.
Yeah.
I think we had said like a cooler white back here. And I had originally said a warmer white up there, but then I was like, maybe a cool white, but then now I'm back to a warm white.
Yeah.
So if the spaces are different, that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Because there's that like definite stop.
For sure.
So it's not like we'll be having weird lines or anything that's like.
I mean, maybe up there, but is anybody
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
pay
just have to
attention?
figure out what we want to do up there, but it's not going to be a huge huge deal.
I definitely think.
to see.
What is it? Winter white.
All right, we have decided that neither weathered white or silent white is going to work best back here just because of the undertones. And I was like, well, we could just do pure white. And Neiman was like, oh, we can just do like white, no undertones. That is the way to go. It's going to be more of like a soft box in here, reflecting lights and all of that jazz. So I think we'll just do pure white back here in this big space, and we'll go with weathered white up front. Next, we are going to be swatching out some of the accent walls in the rooms up front. All right, in here, this is the office space, and Neiman has chosen out a color more like an olive green, forest green. So when I was at Home Depot, I kept that in mind, and this green is called Vine Leaf by Behr. So we're gonna get a little swatch on the wall. It's like bright, but not too bright, which I was loving. That is fun, I think. It's like just enough. Of course, colors always dry a little bit darker than they are like as you put them on. If you're using chip brushes for swatching, that's fine, but watch out for hairs and little bristles, because if they dry in there and then you go and paint it, like you probably won't notice until everything's dry. So try to catch that when everything's wet still. Yeah, what do you think, Neem?
I like that, and if I think about all of the decor that's going to be in here, I want to keep it like either black or brown, like wood or black. Mm-hmm. So I think those. And
we'll have like probably like a more lighter floor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, yeah. So that. Yeah, no, I think that. Did you get any other greens, or did you just get one?
No, I just got one of every color.
Well, I guess I'm making a decision regardless. You're not supposed to swatch if I ain't got no options to choose from.
Oh.
That defeats the whole purpose of the swatching out.
Woo! Well, I let you choose the color.
I didn't.
The green.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right, next room. All right, next we've got orange flame, where we're going to have an accent wall over on this big wall. This room is the lounge room, break room, where we're gonna have like our fridge, microwave, a table, just kind of like a hangout spot for us, and then potentially for some future workers. Don't get very many opportunities to paint with orange, and orange is my favorite color. That is bright, but it's fun and exciting. And it'll dry down a little bit to a little bit of a darker, bright orange. That's what's going in this room. Okay, so this room, we haven't chose what's gonna go in here just yet. We've got so many ideas from you guys, and we're excited to play around with some different ideas of what's gonna be housed in this room. But I still want to go ahead and finish it out. That way it's ready for whatever we do decide. So I am gonna be swatching out some blue on this accent wall. I think blue is a very calming color. And so I just thought that that would be perfect for one of these rooms.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I like that for the office.
You like this for the office?
I like that for the office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I like that because I like blue's my favorite color, and like so I think that I don't really like that green as much as I like this blue, and it's not that I don't like that green, but I like this blue more than I like that green.
Okay, that's fine.
And that would still go good with the browns that we'll have in there and the lighter floor. So yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay. All right, so here's the blue swatched out in here, but this blue is now gonna go into the office and the green will come in here, I guess. That's fine, it doesn't really matter to me. So I like this blue as well, and like I said, it's pretty calming and just kind of like helps create a really nice calm environment. So I think this will be really good to have in our office. Okay, so I did grab yellow and red also. I mostly grabbed those to go into my rainbow mural later on, but Neiman had the suggestion to just go ahead and swatch them out. That way we can pick the best color for in this room. So this one is the yellow. It's called Radiance. Either way, I mean, I'm fine with doing yellow in here too. I picked colors that I liked for a reason, you know, like I knew I don't really care where these are used. The only room I really care is the break room, and I like that orange there.
Yeah.
And then that room I want to be black. Oh geez.
Crimson?
How do you say it?
What is it?
Haute couture? Haute couture?
Haute couture. That could be the shop name.
Haute couture.
Haute couture.
HAUTECOUTURE. Haute couture. Yeah, that's right. We might have to change out that red for my rainbow, but we'll see. I mean, yeah, so this is why you do samples, because the swatch color like of the red looked a lot more deep, and maybe it'll dry a little bit deeper, but that just seems super bright. But I think so, what we're gonna do is we're gonna head to Home Depot. We're gonna get some, probably like 5 gallons of the weathered white, probably maybe 2 5-gallon buckets of the weathered white, since that's gonna be a majority of what we paint, which we'll paint in the rooms on 3 walls, and then in the huge showroom. So that's a lot of paint we're gonna need. And then we'll also get 1 5-gallon bucket for the workshop of the just ultra pure white. And then we'll get a gallon of the blue English Channel, the orange, and then, so you wanna do the yellow in here?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the yellow. And then we'll, for the green and the red, we may switch up those colors when I get to my rainbow. We're not probably gonna need a gallon of those at all. And then we'll also need to get the limousine black for the podcast studio. So I'm kind of amazed that that red and even the green is such a different, brighter color, because in the swatches that I chose at the store, it looks so much more dull, I guess, and like more muted than that bright red that I feel like I painted on there. So we're gonna head to Home Depot. We're gonna check out all of these colors and maybe see if we can get a couple more samples of the red and the green to just do a little bit more muted while we go get all the supplies to start painting everything else. Well, if you didn't know what $1,200 worth of paint and paint materials supplies looks like, here you have it. We got 3 5-gallon buckets here of mostly the white, weathered white, and the pure white, and then we've got all of the paints for the different rooms, the accent walls, and then we also did a pure white for the trim that I'm gonna just freshen up because it's seen better days for sure, and I just want everything to feel new. So yeah, I mean, whew. Big spending at Home Depot for this project, but we're one step closer to getting started. And one other thing that happened is that our friends at FedEx sent us a package. Oh, we get to open this box and pick out some floor that we are potentially gonna have in the storefront. So, okay, maybe FedEx didn't send it. We got it from Floret, which is a online flooring company. So we got a few different samples from their website to just test out and see what we like for this large space. So from Floret, it says prepare to be floored. No pun intended. So you can just basically go on Floret's website and order some samples and they will send them to you. And that way you can just see what these each look like in your space, which I thought was a really neat feature of their website, even though I was pretty sure I knew what I was going to want. It was still nice to be able to have them all here in person. So we've got Kingswood, we've got Soho, we've got Sutton, and we've got Nakan right here. So these three, I believe, are the larger scale ones, the signature line, while this one is the base line. So the base is gonna be a lot more of a smaller plank. The signature is gonna be a bit wider, and I believe it comes in a longer length as well. I think for this space, since it's such a large space, we are gonna try to kind of keep it as budget friendly as possible. So the base is a bit cheaper. So I think we will go with the base if we decide to go with this type of flooring. And I like all three of them. I do think that the Soho is way too light yellowish color, and the Kingswood also has too many yellow tones. The Sutton is a little bit too weathered for me. I really like the Nakan. That's the one that I had in mind from the website and from the beginning. So just picturing the Nakan in a bit of a smaller size like the Kingswood. And then I believe they run about 4 feet. So this would go throughout the showroom and each of the office rooms, or like podcast room, the offices, the break room, not in the bathrooms and not in the utility room and not in the workshop. So still a pretty big space to cover, but we're gonna see if we can get it done. So which floor do you guys think? Comment down below. We've got Nakan, Sutton, Soho, Kingswood. So those are the choices for the LVP flooring, but the other option would be just a tad bit more cost effective, I feel like, is to just put that in the rooms and then in the showroom do like a painted look. I think I told you guys I absolutely despise this color of flooring, and I just don't think it'll look good with the vibe that we're going for in here. So I'm thinking like a gray color. So definitely comment down below, help us decide what we should do. I think the LVP will be a little bit more sophisticated and nice and like just really make everything come together. But yet the painted floor would also save a little bit on cost too. So we would love your help as always choosing, and you're gonna have to stay tuned and get subscribed because we'll be deciding that here in the next upcoming weeks when more videos pop out. I think that is it for this episode. We got a lot done, mostly decision making and getting the ball rolling on just everything that needs to happen. So be sure and get subscribed down below because there's gonna be weeks and weeks filled with more decision making, but then actually getting things done. If you guys are interested in supporting the shop and making this come to life with us, we did create an Amazon wish list so that you guys can contribute, but of course never feel obligated for that. We just enjoy your support as it comes from just watching and spending these days with us. Neiman and I have a lot of work to do, including getting this place cleaned and prepped so that we can actually paint. In the meantime, enjoy this clip of Mom and Dad seeing this place for the first time. We'll see you next week, and I'll see you on the flip side. All right, guys. Mom and Dad are on their way to see the space for the very first time.
First reveal, watch this.
Wonder what they're gonna think. Welcome to our storefront. It's over here. Here it is.
It's huge.
Wow, that's big. It's bigger than it looks, when you showed us on the video. So it looks nice.
4,200 square feet.
4,200 square feet.
Just in this front part.
The whole
The
thing.
whole day, yeah.
The workshop is about 1,000.
I gotta check it out.